Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're wrestling with, well, one of those really intriguing paradoxes you find in ancient texts. Can someone be both supreme and perfectly equal? At the same time, we're taking a deep dive into a set of biblical sources and, some interpretations around them, all trying to get at the relationship between the Father and the Son, our mission. Let's unpack these profound perspectives and see what they might reveal about divinity itself. Ready to get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So one significant thread you see in these sources points toward the Father being, well, greater, especially when you look at the Son's specific mission here on earth. I mean, take Jesus' own words, right? John 14:28, he says, the Father is greater than I. And this view, it really focuses on the Son willingly humbling himself, sort of taking on this unique creature role.
Creature meaning like embodying humanity for a purpose.
Exactly, embodying humanity so he could achieve redemption, our salvation. And in this specific role, he acts in clear submission to the Father.
And this isn't just like a fleeting thing in the text. Does it show up bigger?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
A really key passage is 1 Corinthians 15, verses 24 to 28. It describes the Son, eventually bringing all creation under his authority. And then, this is the striking part, he himself submits to the Father.
Wow.
Yeah, so that God may be all in all. It's a powerful picture of a kind of functional hierarchy. But specifically during his work to redeem us, the text also talk about the Father sending the Son. You see that in John 13 and 20.
Right.
And even giving the Son life. That's in John 5:26. So these verses, they really highlight the Father's originating authority, his role as the source, but specifically within that context of the Son's mission.
Okay, that lays out that functional hierarchy pretty clearly for the mission.
Yeah.
But then, the same sources seem to pivot. They talk about this inherent equality between the Father and the Son, especially when you think about like their eternal nature.
Exactly.
And the big one everyone points to is John 10:30, right? Jesus saying, I and the Father are one.
That's the classic text for this view.
And this perspective, it underlines that both are equally creator gods, both sustain everything, existence, non-existence, stuff we probably can't even imagine. And the texts are really clear. The Son isn't a created being, he is eternal life. He's always existed with the Father.
And it's interesting, even the name Jesus kind of backs this up. It means Jehovah is salvation. It connects him directly to that uncreated, eternal, divine nature.
Right. And that whole firstborn of creation thing, the sources explain that too, don't they?
They do. They clarify it doesn't mean he was the first thing made.
Like item number one.
Exactly. Not item number one. It means he's the prototype, the model, maybe even the completion or the goal of creation. It's a really profound distinction. It emphasizes his divine pre-existent role, the blueprint, you could say. So when the mission's done and he brings everything back to the Father, he returns to that state of full inherent equality.
Okay. So if we try to pull these threads together, the apparent contradiction, greater and equal, it's not really a contradiction if you see the context.
That's how these sources seem to frame it. It's a paradox resolved by context.
Yeah.
You have the Son's voluntary self-emptying, him willingly setting aside some divine prerogatives.
Yeah.
Choosing to operate within human limits for our salvation. That's one context.
Yeah.
And then you contrast that with his inherent eternal divine nature right alongside the Father. That's the other context.
So it reveals this really dynamic relationship.
It is dynamic. It's hierarchical in function during the mission, but it's also profoundly equal in its eternal essence. And what's fascinating is how these ancient writers are grappling with these huge mysteries of divine identity and purpose.
Yeah, this isn't just dusty old theology, is it? It feels like it impacts how we see everything.
Precisely. It frames our whole understanding of creation, how salvation actually works, the ultimate destiny of all things, really. The Son's work, according to these texts, ensures sin is dealt with and creation reaches its intended completion. It pushes you beyond simple boxes like greater or equal.
It really does. It pushes towards seeing a more, nuanced divine reality. Purposeful.
Purposeful is a good word.
Yeah. So what do you take away from this deep dive, ultimately? These sources, they keep reminding us, don't they? While we can grasp bits and pieces through revelation, our human understanding, well, it's stuck in space and time. We can't fully get our heads around the infinite.
We're given what we need, perhaps not necessarily everything we're curious about.
Right. Which leaves you with a pretty big thought, doesn't it? What does it truly mean to encounter, to worship, to relate to a being who is, in one sense, subordinate and on a mission, and yet in another, completely co-equal and eternal. It kind of challenges us, to move beyond those easy one-dimensional definitions and maybe embrace a more dynamic, mysterious understanding of the divine that just doesn't fit neatly into our logical boxes.